How's everybody doing this evening? Get the light out from behind me. I want to talk about valuations for EOS and kind of what I believe they should be. And I'm basing the valuations on, not evaluation, I've already evaluated and it's a good idea, but the valuations, what I believe EOS as a company will be worth, or as a token will be worth in the very near future. And I'm kind of basing that a little bit on Ethereum because Ethereum is on the same idea as EOS, except Ethereum has scalability problems, as everybody that watches these videos already knows. And the reason is because Ethereum is more of a purist. Vitalik, who's a great mind, no doubt about it, brilliant person, believes in having multiple block builders. So in other words, he wants people, there's a lot of energy that's going to go into building these blocks and having that person pick that builds the blocks, which EOS is more select or how they do in the block building program. So there's not so much energy lost in building the blocks. So I believe EOS is much more able to handle, lots of transactions, lots of information could go on EOS that Ethereum would have problems with. Right now, Ethereum is around valuation on Ethereum, market capitalization is give or take a $50 billion, something around there. EOS is $4 billion, give or take. So there's roughly 12 times difference in the price of EOS as compared to Ethereum. I believe that 12 times is going to decrease very quickly because I think EOS has a lot of upside potential right now with Ethereum trading at over a $50 billion market cap. And when people start throwing around $50 billion, $4 billion, $5 billion market caps, you got to understand that $1 billion market cap right now isn't very much. I mean, people think $1 billion, oh my gosh. But I know companies that are basically banks that do telemarketing that have $4 billion bank market capitalization, and they don't have any product at all. They're just a bank, and all they do is they sell stuff, like maybe loans and mortgages, and they have $4 or $5 billion market cap. So $4 or $5 billion market cap isn't that much in today's business world. It's a relatively small company. I know it sounds like a lot of money to people, and people just need to get over that. $1 billion right now isn't big money, like as big a money as it used to be 30, 40, 50 years ago. So $1 billion right now is a relatively small company, and you got EOS trading at $4 billion market cap, and they've got technology that literally will. It's endless as far as their ability to do things on the blockchain. It's endless, and it's a $4 billion market cap company right now. Like I say, I know banks that have more market cap right now that don't have a product, that don't have an idea, that simply sell product to people through, some telemarketing group. So $4 billion is nothing for EOS. And I think that even $50 billion is short on Ethereum. I think it's worth much more. But given the present ideas of the two companies, I think EOS definitely is an upside, tremendous upside. I see EOS at least being $50 to $60 billion by the time it starts to, potentially starts to trade, and after people start building stuff on the platform, 50, 60 billion easy, which would be really realistic given the market capitalization of Ethereum. And Ethereum is holding that cap of around $50 billion. So, like I've been sounding the alarm so much that EOS is probably one of the greatest investment opportunities that we've had in a long time. I think it's one of the great. I think it will be by the time this all transpires. It will be the best, one of the biggest investment opportunities ever. So, $4 billion for a company that's ready to revolutionize the world is pretty incredible. And I think EOS has more revolutionary ideas, more revolutionary abilities than any other company I've ever seen in my lifetime, including Google, including Amazon, including all the other companies. I mean, come on. When Amazon started, they were a bookseller. How innovative was that? I remember they were a bookseller. I mean, I've got a little online business, and I see this guy starting to sell books online with Amazon, and I'm thinking, who buys a book? I mean, come on. I thought it was a really bad idea. Little did I know, it was one of the biggest companies in the world, and not only that, it was Jeff Bezos is worth $100 billion now, but, and given that, that's another good point. here's one individual worth 100 billion, and you got these platforms, these companies that are worth half and a quarter. I mean, worth a percentage, small percentage, 4% of what he's actually individually worth. So in Amazon, you know, and the reason Amazon did well is because they took the idea. Bezos had more ideas than just selling books. He made it into a platform where people can sell on Amazon, and he made it in a platform that sold about everything. So that's why it kind of turned into the billion dollar company that it is. And I think Ethereum's got more potential. I mean, I think Ethereum and I think EOS has more potential than that, but I think EOS is absolutely the play. It's going to be the one that's going to make people a lot of money, and I've said it over and over again. If EOS doesn't make a lot of money, then the internet's going to cease to exist. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, EOS is the next evolution of the internet, and what they have going right now, the ideas they have going, and the potential and the team that they have going is like I say, we're probably one of the best investments of ever it's ever been. And the blockchain is incredible. A lot of people don't understand it. Nobody totally understands it, and nobody knows where the blockchain's going, because it's endless as far as the possibilities are concerned. It's like, it's revolutionary, and there's nobody who knows all the places it's going to go. All you know is that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. And as it happens and continue to grow, there'll be more things become available. I get listen to ideas all the time. In fact, advertisements and stuff like that of what people are going to do with the blockchain and all the things they're going to do. I saw one here recently about fake news. The guy's going to put the news on the blockchain, and then they're going to be able to discern who's telling truthful news and who's not. I mean, that's a really good idea. And ideas like that are going to be going off like firecrackers every place on a platform like EOS. I mean, everybody's going to come up with a new idea, and as that idea starts to explode, somebody else is going to take off on it, and somebody else is going to take off on it, and somebody else is going to take off on it. And the next thing you know, you have a platform that literally has almost, you know, everything you can imagine on it. Everything. Like I said the other day about, you know, real estate and the ability to put all transactions and all the history of real estate on the blockchain. How great is that? The ability to put every automobile on the blockchain. The ability to put, you know, all the security, everything there is, you know, everything that transactions that take place in the world on the blockchain. Put it all on the blockchain. So it's easy to track. It's easy to verify. It's easy to know what's truth and not truth by putting it on the blockchain, because of the history and the ability to build information on information on information on information, and have a history, a chain of that information. And that's the blockchain. It's one of the most incredible ideas I've, you know, can imagine. And the fact that there's a company out there ready to take off very soon that's valued at just a mere couple billion, $3 billion, $4 billion. And this is the company that has the scalability problem solved. This is the company that has a history of putting stuff on the blockchain with BitShares and and D-Tube's a wonderful tool, and Steam. I mean, Steam, these are wonderful platforms that do amazing amount of transactions on the internet. And I think now EOS is coming out, and EOS is coming out so incredible. I mean, please take a look at EOS. If you haven't figured out how to buy it, then figure out how to buy it and start to learn about it. And maybe you could be one of the people to put stuff on it. I mean, we're planning on building something on EOS as soon as it goes live. And guess what? The only way you're going to be able to build something on it is if you have these tokens. So even if you don't believe in EOS, why don't you buy some tokens just so you have some ability to build on it and some ability to somehow have some real estate on this such a valuable platform. And that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is everybody's going to own a little piece of it, those people that want to get involved. And they're giving the opportunity right now to do it. I mean, kind of like the Google did. Google did years and years ago when they allowed, and I guess it was a Dutch auction I was thinking about the other day, how they did that, where, you know, very small investors could get involved. And then usually the way it works is that companies want to go public. And I used to be an investment broker, so I know, investment banker, so I know. Companies go public, so you go to your core group of people that have a lot of money. In the case when I was a broker, I was a penny broker. We used to go to a big insurance company. Our insurance guy, he actually owned the company, but he used to put up the money for the initial public offerings. So in those days, maybe if you had a 5 million IPO, you'd go to this guy, his name was Ralph, and you get $1 million, and that would do all the the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission's regulations, rules. You have to take care of all that stuff. And then guess what? When the company became public, the very first guy to sell his stock was Ralph. I mean, Ralph was hitting me at the opening. The stock would come out at a penny, go to 2 cents, and guess what? Ralph was selling most of his shares, most of his IPO shares. So then you'd spend the next 6 months to a year just trying to dig out of Ralph's stock. That's the way it's usually, and that's a small scale, because I was a penny broker. I wasn't a big board broker. But in the big board business, it gets to be, that's a Goldman Sachs stuff. That's really big stuff. And the way they do is they get the insider people, the insider money to take the company public. Then as soon as the company goes public, then they slam the stock. Well, EOS isn't doing that. They're allowing a whole long time to raise money, which means a lot of little people can get involved, like me and my son, and other people. We can all have a little bit of stock in this. And that's similar to what Google did with the Dutch auction. So, here's an opportunity to do something big, to help your friends and family, and to be involved with something that's of a new world, a new technology, a new idea, an innovation to progress. I mean, I've come from growing up on a small farm in western Nebraska to now building stuff on the internet. And if I would have stayed on the farm, I probably would have never been able to do any of this stuff. And I had to grow with it. I had to build with it because I didn't know any of this stuff. I was a middle-aged man when the internet was even started doing anything. I mean, didn't even know what a computer was. I mean, there was no computers. I vaguely remember computers when I was in college, and I was even a computer science major. I mean, there were basically mainframe computers. I remember when the PC came out. That's when companies like Dell Computer. I remember I had my first Dell computer, all that stuff. So everybody has to move forward with this stuff, including myself. I wasn't, a young kid growing that had a father that was a programmer like Elon Musk. I mean, gosh, I would have loved to have been Elon Musk. I mean, his dad was a programmer. His dad taught him to program when he was very young. I wasn't a guy like, the people that are around this stuff. I had a best friend of mine that actually helped me start my first internet business. His dad was a programmer. I actually worked for Apple Computer Company when he was young. And he taught him how to program. He was a PHP programmer. And he was a brilliant programmer at about 15, 16 years of age. He could write about anything in PHP you could imagine. He was a brilliant programmer, and he learned from his dad when he was young. I mean, we all don't get blessed with those backgrounds. So get involved with this and start to do it, because that's how you do it. You got to go forward with where people are at today, and this is a perfect opportunity. And as things start to progress, and as things become easier to understand, you will know more about it, and you will actually be involved. And especially if you're making money at this thing. If you're making money at this thing, that's usually the stimulus to go ahead and start really putting your time and effort into it. So anyway, please, EOS, minimum, right now, $4 billion market cap on a company that's literally, or not literally, will change the world. And I believe they will. I believe they will. I could be wrong, but I could be right. And I just got a pretty good hunch that I'm right. So anyway, thanks for watching. And like I say, don't worry about where EOS's price is right now. I believe it's very, very inexpensive. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later.